Nobody expected it. 10 alien cadets lay on the classroom floor. One human stood above them, breathing hard. But to understand how we got here, we need to go back 24 hours. The year was 2847. Deep in space floated the Galactic Academy. It was a massive space station. 50 different alien species studied here. Warriors, scientists, leaders, the best of the best from across the galaxy. Jake Morrison walked through the main entrance. He was 19 years old. Brown hair, average height. He looked normal. But Jake was special. He was the first human ever accepted to the Academy. The hallway was huge. Aliens of all shapes and sizes moved past him. Some had 4 arms. Some had scales. Others glowed with strange colors. They all stopped and stared at Jake. Whispers filled the air. A human. Here, at the Warrior Academy. Many aliens had never seen a human before. Jake felt their eyes on him. He kept walking. His heart beat fast, but he stayed calm. His father taught him that. Stay calm. Always stay calm. He found his classroom. Room 47. Combat Theory and Practice. Jake took a deep breath and walked inside. The room went silent. 30 alien students turned to look at him. Some looked curious. Others looked angry. A few laughed. Jake found an empty seat in the back. He sat down and pulled out his datapad. He tried to ignore the stares. Then he heard it. A deep voice. Loud. Mean. A massive alien stood up. He was 7 feet tall. Dark red skin. 4 muscular arms. Sharp teeth. His name tag read Vractor. He was a Krillian, a warrior race known across the galaxy. Vractor pointed at Jake. The entire class watched. He laughed. It was not a friendly laugh. It was a laugh of someone who thought they were better than you. A human. A real human. Here, this academy is for real warriors. Not soft skins from weak planets. The other aliens laughed with him. Not all of them, but enough. Jake looked up at Vractor. He said nothing. He just looked. His eyes were steady. Calm. Vractor expected fear. He expected anger. He got neither. This confused him. It made him more angry. Jake slowly looked back down at his datapad. He opened his class schedule. He ignored Vractor completely. This made Vractor furious. But before he could say more, the teacher walked in. The teacher was old. Very old. He was a Zentari. They lived for 500 years. He had seen everything. Sit down, everyone. Class begins now. Vractor sat down, but he kept staring at Jake. His 4 fists clenched tight. 9 other aliens sitting near him smiled. They were his friends. His gang. Jake felt their eyes on his back. He knew what was coming. He had seen this before. Back on Earth. Bullies were the same everywhere. Human or alien, it did not matter. The teacher started talking about combat theory, about honor, about warrior codes. Jake listened carefully, but part of his mind was somewhere else. He was thinking, planning, remembering what his father told him. His father was Special Forces, the best of the best. He taught Jake many things. How to fight, how to survive. But most important, he taught him this. Never start a fight, son. But if someone else starts it, you finish it. You always finish it. Jake touched his pocket. Inside was a photo. His family. His home. Earth. It was the only thing he brought with him. The only thing that mattered. He did not know it yet. But that photo would change everything. Class ended. Students filed out. Vractor walked past Jake. He bumped into him hard. On purpose. Jake stumbled but did not fall. Watch where you walk, human. You might get hurt here. Jake said nothing. He picked up his datapad and walked out. But Vractor was not done. Not even close. He had made a decision. He would teach this human a lesson. Show everyone that humans did not belong here. Vractor did not know it yet. But he had just made the biggest mistake of his life. Because humans have something aliens do not understand. Something they cannot see. Something dangerous. Humans have a switch. And when you push them too far, when you threaten what they love, that switch flips. Jake Morrison's switch was about to flip. And when it did, 10 aliens would learn a lesson they would never forget. What was this mysterious human ability? Why did Vrakter make such a terrible mistake? The answer would shock the entire academy. But that story was just beginning. 2. Vrakter thought humans were weak. He had no idea what was coming. Let me show you why. The next morning, Jake woke up early. His room was small. Just a bed, a desk, a window showing endless space. He looked at the stars. Somewhere out there was Earth, his home, his family. He got dressed. Blue academy uniform. It fit tight. He grabbed his datapad and headed to class. Today was different. Today was combat training day. The combat simulation room was massive. White walls, hard metal floor, training equipment everywhere. 50 students gathered inside, all aliens except Jake. The teacher stood in the center. His name was Commander Thane. He was a veteran, fought in 3 wars, lost his left arm. It was replaced with metal. Listen up, cadets. Today you learn real combat, not theory, not computer games, real fighting. You will spar with each other. You will learn your limits. You will learn pain. The students nodded. Some looked excited. Others looked nervous. Jake stood in the back, silent, watching. Commander Thane started calling names. Pairs formed. Aliens began sparring. The room filled with sounds of fighting. Grunts, thuds, bodies hitting the floor. Jake watched carefully. He studied how each alien species fought. The Krillians used brute strength, for arms swinging like hammers. The Zentari used speed, quick strikes, fast movements. The Drax used their tails, sweeping legs, creating distance. Then Jake heard his name. Morrison, you are with... He paused. Actually, Morrison, you sit this one out. Watch and learn first. Relief spread through some students. They did not want to fight the human, not because they feared him, but because they thought it would be too easy, like fighting a child. Vrakter heard this. He stood up. His gang of 9 surrounded him. They were all big, all from warrior races, all bullies. Commander, let me spar with the human. I will go easy on him. I promise. The other aliens laughed. It was not a nice laugh. Commander Thane looked at Vrakter, then at Jake. He thought for a moment. No, Morrison needs to observe first. Sit down, Vrakter. Vrakter sat down, but his eyes never left Jake. He whispered to his friends. They nodded. They smiled. They had a plan. Class ended 2 hours later. Students filed out, tired, bruised, sweating. Jake walked toward the exit. Suddenly someone blocked his path. Vrakter. His 9 friends formed a circle around Jake. Where are you going, human? Training is not over. Jake looked up at him. Vrakter was twice his size. The hallway was empty now. No teachers. No witnesses. Just Jake and 10 aliens. I am going to my room. Move, please. Vrakter laughed. His friends joined in. So polite. So weak. Tell me, human, why are you here? This academy is for warriors. You are not a warrior. You are nothing. Jake felt his heart beat faster, but he kept his voice calm, his face blank. I passed the tests. Same as you. I earned my place here. Tests. Vrakter spit on the ground. Tests mean nothing. Real strength means everything, and you have no strength. One of Vrakter's friends stepped forward. He was a Drax, 8 feet tall, covered in thick scales. I heard humans break easy. Soft bones, weak muscles. Is that true, little human? Jake said nothing. He looked for an exit, but they had him surrounded. 10 against 1. In an empty hallway, Vrakter leaned down, his face inches from Jake's face. His breath smelled like metal and sulfur. Here is what will happen, human. Tomorrow, after class. Combat room. You and me. No, better idea. You against all 10 of us. Show everyone what humans are really made of. Jake looked into Vrakter's eyes. They were yellow, cold, mean. I do not want to fight you. Of course you do not. Because you are a coward. Like all humans. Vrakter reached out. He grabbed something from Jake's pocket. The photo. The family photo. The only thing from Earth. What is this? Your family. How sweet. Jake's body tensed. His jaw clenched. Give that back. Or what? You will fight me. Good. Tomorrow. Combat room. After class. Everyone will watch. You will lose. And everyone will see that humans do not belong here. Vraktor looked at the photo. Then he smiled. A terrible smile. He dropped the photo. It hit the floor. Then he stepped on it. His heavy boot crushed the frame. Glass shattered. The photo ripped in half. Oops. My mistake. The 9 aliens laughed. Loud. Cool. They walked away. Their laughter echoed down the hallway. Jake stood frozen. He looked down. His family photo. Destroyed. His mother's face torn. His father's smile ripped in half. He knelt down. Picked up the pieces. Glass cut his finger. Blood dripped onto the torn paper. Something changed in Jake's eyes. They went cold. Very cold. The kind of cold that comes before a storm. He carefully picked up every piece. Put them in his pocket. The broken glass. The torn photo. Everything. He stood up. His hands were shaking. Not from fear. From something else. Something darker. Back on Earth, his father told him many things. How to fight. How to survive. But one lesson stood above all others. Every man has a switch sun. A line you do not cross. For some it is family. For some it is honor. For some it is survival. When someone crosses that line, the switch flips. And when it flips, you become something different. Something dangerous. Jake walked back to his room. His mind was not thinking about fear anymore. It was thinking about strategy. About planning. About ending this. He sat at his desk. Opened his datapad. Started researching. Krillian anatomy. Fighting styles. Weak points. Psychology. Culture. Everything. Hours passed. Jake did not sleep. He studied. He learned. He planned. Because Jake understood something Vraktor did not. Humans were not the strongest species. Not the fastest. Not the toughest. But humans had something better. Something that helped them survive ice ages. Predators. Disease. War. Each other. Humans adapted. Humans learned. Humans refused to quit. Vraktor thought he would fight 10 warriors against one weak human. He was wrong. He was about to fight something much more dangerous. He was about to fight human evolution itself. Millions of years of survival instinct packed into one angry 19-year-old. The fight was set. Tomorrow, after class. Combat room. 10 aliens versus 1 human. Vraktor was celebrating with his friends. Drinking. Laughing. Planning how they would humiliate Jake. Jake was alone in his room. Studying. Planning. Preparing. Vraktor's switch was aggression. Jake's switch was calculation. And Jake's switch had just flipped. Tomorrow the Academy would witness something they had never seen before. Tomorrow they would learn why humans were the apex predator of Earth. Tomorrow they would understand why you should never corner something that refuses to die. What was Jake planning? How could 1 human possibly beat 10 trained alien warriors? The answer would shock everyone. But the clock was ticking. The fight was coming. And nothing would ever be the same. The fight was coming. But Jake was not going to fight fair. Because humans do not just fight with strength. They fight with their minds. Morning came. Jake had not slept. His eyes were red but focused. Very focused. He looked at his datapad one last time. All the research. All the plans. Everything was ready. He stood up. Stretched his muscles. His body was sore. He had trained all night. Push-ups. Squats. Shadow boxing. Getting his body ready for war. Jake looked in the mirror. He saw someone different. Not the scared kid who arrived 2 days ago. Someone harder. Colder. More dangerous. He grabbed his uniform. Got dressed. Walked to class. The hallway was full of students. Word had spread fast. The human accepted the challenge. 10 versus 1. Everyone was talking about it. Jake walked past them. They stared. Some looked excited. Others looked sorry for him. A few looked away. They knew what was coming. He entered the classroom. It went silent. Every eye turned to him. Vraktor sat in the front row. His 9 friends around him. They were all smiling. Confident. Ready? Jake walked to his seat in the back, sat down, opened his datapad, acted like nothing was wrong. Vractor stood up, turned around, looked at Jake, ready to lose human. After class, everyone will watch. Everyone will see what you really are. Jake looked up. His face was blank. Empty. He said one word. Okay. That was it. Just okay. No fear. No anger. Nothing. This confused Vractor. He expected begging. Maybe tears. Maybe Jake would not show up. But this cold acceptance. It was strange. Vractor sat back down. But something felt wrong. He could not explain it. Just a feeling. Like standing near a cliff in the dark. Class started. Commander Thane walked in. He looked at Jake, then at Vractor. He knew about the challenge. Everyone knew. Today we study combat psychology. How your mind affects your fighting. How fear makes you weak. How anger makes you stupid. How calmness makes you deadly. Jake listened carefully. Took notes. Vractor and his friends whispered and laughed. They were not listening. They did not think they needed to. Big mistake. Commander Thane continued talking. He told a story about a war, about a small force defeating a large army, not through strength, through strategy, through using the enemy's confidence against them. The small force won because they thought. The large army lost because they did not. Jake wrote this down. Vractor threw a paper ball at another student. Class ended. The moment everyone waited for had arrived. Students rushed to the combat room. Word spread through the entire academy. Even students from other classes came to watch. Teachers came too. This was unusual. This was historic. A human fighting 10 aliens. Nobody had seen this before. The combat room filled up. Over 200 students lined the walls. They wanted the best view. They wanted to see the human lose. Some felt bad for Jake, but most were just curious. Commander Thane stood at the entrance. He looked at Jake. You do not have to do this, Morrison. This is not official academy business. You can walk away. No shame. Jake shook his head. I have to do this, sir. They made it personal. Thane studied Jake's face. He saw something there. Something he recognized. He had seen it before. In war. In real soldiers. The look of someone who already decided to win or die trying. Very well. Rules are simple. No weapons. No killing. Fight until someone surrenders or cannot continue. Medical team is standing by. Jake nodded. Walked into the combat room. The room was huge. White walls. Hard floor. Bright lights. Environmental controls. On the left wall. Exit doors on the right. Nothing else. Just empty space. Vractor and his 9 friends entered from the other side. They looked massive. Combined, they weighed over 3,000 pounds. Pure muscle. Natural weapons. Born fighters. Jake stood alone. 5'10", 170 pounds. No claws. No armor. No natural weapons. Just human. The crowd went silent. This was it. Vractor walked to the center. Spread his 4 arms wide. Looked at the crowd. Watch closely, everyone. This is what happens when weak species try to be warriors. This is what happens to humans who forget their place. The crowd cheered. Not everyone, but most. Jake said nothing. He walked slowly to center. Stopped 10 feet from Vractor. Started stretching. Rolled his shoulders. Cracked his neck. Took deep breaths. Vractor watched him. Something still felt wrong. The human was too calm. Too focused. Where was the fear? Jake finished stretching. Looked at Vractor. His eyes were different now. Not scared. Not angry. Just cold. Like looking into deep space. Ready when you are. Vractor smiled. Looked at his 9 friends. They formed a circle around Jake. 10 aliens. All bigger. All stronger. All ready. Commander Thane raised his hand. Combat begins in 3, 2, 1. He dropped his hand. Nobody moved. 5 seconds of silence. The calm before the storm. Then Vractor nodded. 3 of his friends rushed forward. They came from different angles. A standard attack pattern. Overwhelming force. Quick finish. The crowd leaned forward. This would be over in seconds. But Jake did something unexpected. He did not try to block, did not try to fight back. He moved fast, faster than anyone expected. He dropped low, rolled sideways, came up behind one attacker. The three aliens crashed into each other, confused, off balance. The crowd gasped. How did he move that fast? Vrachter's smile faded. Rush them together. All of you. Now, 5 more aliens charged. Now 8 total surrounding Jake. The room shook with their footsteps. Jake kept moving, never staying still, using their size against them. When one swung, he ducked. When another grabbed, he slipped away. He was like water, impossible to catch. But he was not attacking back. Not yet. He was doing something else. He was tiring them out, making them angry, making them sloppy. Vrachter watched. His eyes narrowed. The human was not fighting. He was studying, learning their patterns, their timing, their mistakes. Stop playing around. Hit him. One alien finally connected. A hard punch to Jake's shoulder. Jake stumbled. Pain shot through his arm. The crowd cheered. But Jake smiled. A cold smile. Because that alien just made a mistake. He committed too hard. Left himself open. Jake's counter was fast. A low kick to the alien's knee. Not hard. Just precise. The alien's leg buckled. He fell forward. Jake moved. The falling alien crashed into 2 others. They all went down in a pile. First blood. 3 aliens on the ground. Confused. Angry. The crowd went silent. That was not supposed to happen. Vrachter's confidence cracked. Just a little. But enough. Stop messing around. All of us. Together. Crush him. All 10 aliens moved at once. This was it. The real attack. No more games. Pure, overwhelming force. Jake took a deep breath. Looked at the environmental controls on the wall. 20 feet away. He ran. Not away from the aliens. Toward the wall. The aliens chased. Their heavy footsteps thundered. The crowd thought Jake was trying to escape. They were wrong. Jake reached the wall. Slapped the environmental control panel. Entered a code. Hit confirm. Warning. Gravity increasing. 2.5 Earth standard. The room's gravity changed. Suddenly, everything weighed 2.5 times more. The aliens crashed to the floor. Their heavy bodies could not handle it. Moving became almost impossible. Breathing became hard. But Jake stood straight. Because Earth has 1.0 gravity. And for the past month, Jake had been training in 3.0 gravity. Every morning. Every night. Preparing his body for exactly this moment. The crowd could not believe it. The human was still standing, moving normally, while 10 massive aliens struggled to even crawl. Vrachter looked up from the floor, his forearms shaking, trying to push himself up. Finally he understood. This was not a fight. This was a trap. And he walked right into it. Jake stood over them, breathing hard but steady, for aliens were completely down, unable to move. 6 still trying, still dangerous. He looked at Vrachter. No anger in his eyes. Just cold calculation. You wanted to teach me a lesson. About knowing my place. About being weak. So let me teach you something instead. Jake took a step forward. In the heavy gravity. Easy. Natural. Humans do not need to be the strongest. We just need to be the smartest. Vrachter tried to stand. Failed. Fell back down. Rage filled his eyes. But also something else. For the first time. Fear. For aliens down. 6 still trying. 1 human standing tall. But the fight was not over. Not yet. Vrachter had one last trick. One last chance. And it might just work. What would happen next? Could Jake really win against all 10? The answer was coming. And it would change everything. The real battle was about to begin. 6 aliens left. 1 human in control. But Vrachter had one last trick. And it almost worked. Jake stood in the heavy gravity. His muscles burned. Sweat dripped down his face. But he stayed standing. For aliens lay completely still on the floor. Unable to move. Beaten. 6 more were still in the fight. They struggled, crawled. Their bodies shook under the intense gravity. But they were not done. Warriors do not quit easy. Vractor was on his hands and knees, all four arms pressed against the floor. His massive body weighed over 400 pounds. In normal gravity, he was unstoppable. In 2.5 gravity, he could barely move. But Vractor was smart. He was not just a bully. He was a trained warrior. He studied the room, looked for options. Then he saw it. The environmental control panel, 20 feet away from Jake. If he could reach it, reset the gravity, the fight would change. 10 against 1 in normal gravity. He would win. Vractor started crawling. Slow, painful. Every movement took all his strength, but he moved forward, inch by inch, toward the panel. Jake saw him, understood immediately. He started moving too, faster. His human body adapted to the gravity. Millions of years of evolution. Humans were built to endure, built to adapt, built to survive. But Vractor was closer to the panel, just 10 feet away now. The crowd watched in silence. 200 students. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. This was the moment. Whoever reached that panel first would win. Vractor pushed harder. His muscles screamed. Blood vessels burst in his eyes. But he kept going. 5 feet away. 3 feet. Almost there. Jake ran. His legs pumped hard. The gravity pulled at him, tried to drag him down. But he fought it, pushed through it. Vractor's hand reached out, touched the panel. 1 more second, and he would reset everything. But Jake did not go for the panel. He went for Vractor. He jumped, used the last of his energy, tackled Vractor from the side. Both of them crashed the floor. Hard. The impact knocked the air from their lungs. Vractor rolled, tried to throw Jake off. But Jake held on, locked his arms around one of Vractor's 4 arms. Used a joint lock, something his father taught him, something that did not need strength, just technique. Vractor roared in pain, tried to reach the panel with his other arms. But Jake pulled harder. The joint lock tightened. 1 more inch and Vractor's arm would break. Wait, stop. Vractor's voice cracked. You will break my arm. Jake's face was inches from Vractor's face. His voice was cold, quiet, dangerous. Your honor code says you face challenges directly. Right. 1-on-1. Leader versus leader. No tricks. No help. Just you and me. Vractor stopped moving. His culture. His people. The warrior code. It was everything to Krillians. More important than winning. More important than pride. Jake knew this. He studied it. He learned their culture. Their rules. Their weaknesses. Not physical weaknesses. Mental ones. Fine. 1-on-1. You and me. No gravity tricks. Just combat. Jake slowly released the joint lock. Stood up. Stepped back. Gave Vractor space. Reset the gravity. Vractor stared at him. Shocked. The human was giving up his advantage. Why? Because Jake did not want to win with tricks. He wanted to win with skill. Wanted to prove something. Not just to the aliens. To himself. Vractor reached up. Hit the panel. Gravity returned to normal. 1.0. Standard. Immediately the other 5 aliens started getting up. Their bodies felt light again. Strong again. They moved toward Jake. But Vractor held up his hand. Stop. This is between me and a human. Honor demands it. The 5 aliens stepped back. Formed a circle. This was now a duel. 1-on-1. The old way. The warrior way. Commander Thane stepped forward. Looked at both fighters. This is highly irregular. But I will allow it. Traditional rules. Fight until surrender or knockout. Begin. Vractor stood at full height. 7 feet tall. From massive arms. 300 pounds of pure muscle. He cracked his knuckles. All 16 of them. Smiled a terrible smile. Now human. Now you see real Krillian strength. No tricks. No games. Just fighting. Jake took his fighting stance. Feet shoulder-width apart. Hands up. Weight balanced. His father's training. Years of practice. All coming back now. The crowd pressed closer. This was what they came to see. Real combat. Skill versus skill. Human versus alien. Ractor attacked first. A straight punch with his upper right arm. Fast. Powerful. Enough force to shatter concrete. Jake slipped to the side. The punch missed by inches. Wind from it rushed past his face. Ractor followed with his upper left. Then lower right. Then lower left. 4 punches in 2 seconds. A storm of fists. Jake moved. Blocked. Dodged. His body flowed like water. Never where Ractor expected. Always moving. Always thinking. But he was not attacking back. Not yet. He was learning. Studying. Watching Ractor's patterns. His timing. His tells. Every fighter has tells. Small movements before they attack. A shift in weight. A tensing of muscles. A look in the eyes. Jake's father taught him to see these things. To read the body like a book. Ractor threw 20 punches. All missed or were blocked. He started breathing harder. Getting frustrated. Getting angry. Stand still and fight coward. Jake said nothing. Just kept moving. Kept watching. Then he saw it. The pattern. Every time Ractor threw with his upper arms, his lower arms dropped slightly. A tiny opening. Less than a second. But enough. Jake waited. Ractor threw another combination. Upper right. Upper left. There. The opening. Jake moved in. Low kick to Ractor's front leg. Hard. Precise. Right on the nerve cluster. The same spot that hurts on every species. Ractor's leg buckled. His balance shifted. He stumbled forward. Off balance. Vulnerable. Jake followed up. Elbow strike to Ractor's ribs. Palm strike to his chest. Low kick to his other leg. 3 hits in 1 second. Fast. Brutal. Effective. Ractor crashed to one knee. Pain shot through his body. Nobody had ever hit him like this. So fast. So precise. Like fighting a machine. The crowd gasped. The human was winning. Actually winning. Ractor looked up. Blood dripped from his mouth. His pride was hurt worse than his body. He roared. Pushed up with all 4 arms. Charged forward like a bull. No technique. No strategy. Just rage. Jake saw it coming. Stepped to the side at the last second. Ractor ran past him. Could not stop. Crashed into the wall. Hard. The metal dented from the impact. Jake did not celebrate. Did not smile. Just reset his stance. Waited. Ractor turned around. Dazed. Confused. How was this happening? He was bigger. Stronger. He was supposed to win. But strength was not enough. Jake's father told him that. Told him about the biggest lesson in fighting. Big guys always think size wins, son. Show them it does not. Show them that skill beats strength. That speed beats power. That thinking beats feeling. Ractor charged again. Jake was ready. He ducked under a wild swing. Swept Ractor's legs. The big alien fell. Jake moved on top. Locked in a chokehold. Perfect position. Perfect technique. Ractor struggled. Used all 4 arms. Tried to break free. But human arms are built for grip strength. For holding on. For never letting go. 10 seconds passed. Ractor's struggles got weaker. His eyes started to close. His body went limp. Jake held on 3 more seconds. Then released. Stepped back. Ractor lay on the ground. Breathing. Alive. But beaten. The 5 other aliens rushed forward. Not to attack. To help their leader. They lifted him up. Checked if he was okay. Jake stood alone. His body shook. Adrenaline pumping. Heart racing. But he won. He actually won. The crowd erupted. Some cheered. Some stood in shocked silence. Nobody expected this. Nobody thought it was possible. Commander Thane walked over. Looked at Jake with new respect. Well fought, Morrison. Very well fought indeed. But Jake barely heard him. He looked at the 5 aliens helping Ractor. Looked at the 4 still on the ground from before. 9 aliens down or defeated. 1 still standing strong. Ractor's second in command. A massive Drax named Kor. 8 feet tall. Covered in scales. He had not fought yet. Saved his strength. Watched. Learned. Now he stepped forward, his eyes locked on Jake. I will not make the same mistakes Vractor made human. I will not underestimate you. I will not get angry. I will fight smart. Like you, Jake was exhausted. His muscles screamed. His lungs burned. Fighting Vractor took everything. Fighting another one might be impossible, but he could not show weakness. Not now. Not after coming this far. He raised his fists. Ready. The crowd held its breath. One more fight. One more battle. Could Jake do it? Could he really beat all 10? The answer was coming, and it would shock everyone. What happened next would become legend. A story told across the galaxy. The day one human refused to quit. The day the impossible became possible. The final battle was about to begin. 5. One alien left. One exhausted human. But Jake had something Core did not understand, and it would make all the difference. Jake stood in the center of the combat room. His body screamed for rest. Every muscle ached. His right shoulder throbbed from the earlier hit. Sweat poured down his face. His hands shook, but his eyes were still sharp, still focused, still dangerous. Core circled him slowly. The massive Drax moved with grace. Not like Vractor, not rushing, not angry, just patient, calculating, smart. He studied Jake, watched how he breathed, how he moved, how he held his weight. You fight well, human, better than anyone expected, but you are tired. I can see it. Your left leg favors your right. Your breathing is fast. You cannot last much longer. Jake said nothing, just kept his guard up, kept moving, never staying still. Core was right. Jake was exhausted. Fighting 9 aliens took everything. His body was running on pure adrenaline now, on pure will, but what was something humans had in abundance. The crowd watched in complete silence. 200 students. Nobody moved. This was the final fight. Winner takes all. Commander Thane stood at the edge, ready to stop the fight if it got too dangerous. He looked worried. The human had already done the impossible, but pushing further might be too much. Core stopped circling, planted his feet. His thick scaled tail swished behind him. Drax used their tails like weapons, like a third arm. Jake studied it, watched the pattern, learned. I respect you, human. You earned that, so I will not toy with you. I will end this quick. No pain, just sleep. Core moved, fast for his size. His right fist came straight. A testing jab, checking Jake's reaction speed. Jake blocked, barely. His arms felt like lead. Heavy, slow. Core smiled. Threw another jab, faster. Jake blocked again, but the impact pushed him back. His feet slid on the floor. The crowd leaned forward. The human was fading. This would be over soon. Core threw a combination. 3 punches. High, middle, low. Jake blocked the first, dodged the second, but the third caught him in the ribs. Hard. Jake stumbled back. Pain exploded through his chest. He gasped for air. His vision blurred for a second. Core did not rush. Just watched. Waited. Let the human suffer. Let him realize it was over. But Jake did not fall. Did not quit. He straightened up. Raised his fist again. His face was pale. His body shook. But his eyes burned with something Core had never seen before. Refusal. Pure human refusal to accept defeat. Core's smile faded. He had seen this look once before. In war. A wounded enemy soldier. Surrounded. No hope. No chance. But still fighting. Still trying. It was the most dangerous kind of fighter. The kind with nothing to lose. Why do you not surrender, human? You prove your point. You beat 9 of us. Nobody will call you weak. You can stop now. Jake's voice was quiet. Rough, but steady. My father taught me something. Humans do not quit. Ever. We survive ice ages. Plagues. Wars. Predators. We climb the highest mountains. Cross the deepest oceans. Explore the darkest caves. Not because we are strong, but because we refuse to give up. He took a step forward. His body barely held together, but his spirit was unbreakable. So no, I will not surrender. You want to win. You have to take it. Something changed in the room. The crowd felt it. Commander Thane felt it. Even Core felt it. This was not about fighting anymore. This was about something bigger. This was about human nature itself. The thing that made humans survive when stronger species went extinct. The thing that made humans the dominant species on Earth. Stubbornness. Determination. The absolute refusal to accept the impossible. Core nodded slowly. Very well, human. I will honor your spirit. I will give you my best. He attacked for real now. No more testing. No more patience. Full power. Full speed.
His fists came like a storm. His tail whipped around trying to sweep Jake's legs. His scaled body was armor. His size was overwhelming. Jake moved on instinct. His conscious mind was too tired. But his body remembered. Years of training. Thousands of hours. Muscle memory took over. He slipped. Dodged. Blocked. Not perfectly. It's got through. His lips split. His eyes swelled. His body took damage. But he stayed standing. Kept moving. Kept fighting. The crowd could not believe it. The human should be down. Should be unconscious. But he kept going. Like a machine. Like something that did not understand how to stop. Core threw a massive right hook. Enough power to break bones. Jake could not dodge. Too slow. Too tired. So he did something crazy. He stepped into the punch. Caught Core's arm. Used the momentum. Turned his body. Threw Core over his hip. It was a judo throw. Basic technique. But perfect timing. Perfect execution. Core crashed to the ground. Shocked. Confused. How did the human still have strength? But Jake did not have strength. Not anymore. He had something else. Something deeper. Something that came from the core of human evolution. Endurance. Humans are the endurance hunters of Earth. We do not run fastest. We do not hit hardest. But we outlast everything. We chase prey for hours. Days. Until they collapse from exhaustion. Until they give up. Jake had been doing this the whole fight. Making them tired. Making them use their strength. While he conserved. While he survived. Now he was running on empty. But so was Core. The big Drax breathed hard. His scales were cracked. His movements slower. Both fighters were at their limit. Whoever wanted it more would win. They circled each other one last time. Two warriors. Mutual respect. Mutual exhaustion. Then they charged. Both at the same moment. Last attack. Final stand. They collided in the center. Fists flew. Bodies crashed. No technique now. Just raw fighting. Just will versus will. 10 seconds of chaos. Hitting. Blocking. Struggling. Neither giving an inch. Then Jake saw an opening. Small. Tiny. But there. Core's tail was coiled wrong. Off balance. Jake dropped low. Grabbed the tail. Pulled hard. Used all his remaining strength. Core's balance broke. He fell backward. Hit the ground. His head bounced off the metal floor. His eyes rolled back. Unconscious. Jake stood over him. Swaying. About to fall. But still standing. The combat room exploded. The crowd roared. Cheered. Screamed. They witnessed history. 1 human. 10 aliens. Victory. Commander Thane rushed forward. Caught Jake before he collapsed. Easy, Morrison. You did it? You actually did it? Medical teams rushed in. Check Core. Check the other aliens. All alive. All would recover. Just bruised. Shocked. Beaten. Jake looked around the room. His vision was blurry. His body was shutting down. But he saw them. 200 alien students. All looking at him differently now. Not with mockery. Not with pity. With respect. With awe. With understanding. Vrakthar was helped to his feet by his friends. He looked at Jake. Their eyes met. The bully. The victim. Not anymore. Something had changed between them. Vrakthar did something nobody expected. He bowed. A deep Krillian bow. The highest sign of respect among warriors. I was wrong, human. I judged you by your body. I should have judged you by your spirit. You are worthy. More than worthy. His 9 friends bowed too. One by one. Acknowledging defeat. Acknowledging respect. Jake tried to bow back. His body would not move. So he just nodded. It was enough. Commander Thane helped Jake to medical. The crowd parted. Made a path. Students reached out. Touched his shoulder. His arm. Showing respect. Showing acceptance. Jake was carried out of the combat room. But something stayed behind. A legend. A story. The day one human proved that size does not matter, that strength is not everything, that the human spirit cannot be broken. 10 aliens on the floor. One human still standing. But this was not the end of the story. This was only the beginning. Because word would spread. Across the academy. Across the station. Across the galaxy. Humans were not weak. Humans were something else. Something dangerous. Something that refused to quit. But what happened next? How did this change things? What did the academy do? The answer would surprise everyone. The real lesson was about to be taught. And it would change the galaxy forever. The aftermath was coming. And nothing would ever be the same.
Jake won. But victory was not the end of the story. It was the beginning of something bigger. Jake woke up in the medical bay. Bright white lights. Soft bed. Machines beeping. His body was wrapped in healing bandages. Advanced alien technology. It fixed broken bones. Healed bruises. Repaired damage. He tried to sit up. Pain shot through his ribs. A medical drone floated over. Beeped a warning. Stay still, Human Morrison. Your body needs rest. You sustained significant trauma. Cracked ribs. Muscle tears. Severe exhaustion. You push your body past normal limits. Jake laid back down. Looked at the ceiling. Remembered the fight. 10 aliens. One by one. He actually won. It felt like a dream. A crazy, impossible dream. The door opened. Commander Thane walked in. His metal arm gleamed under the lights. His face was serious, but his eyes showed something else. Respect. Pride. How are you feeling, Morrison? Jake tried to smile. Hurt too much. Like I got hit by 10 aliens, sir. Thane actually laughed. A rare sound. Because you did. And you won. Do you understand what you did? Do you understand what this means? Jake shook his head. Not really, sir. I just did what I had to do. Thane pulled up a chair. Sat down next to the bed. Leaned forward. For 50 years this academy has trained warriors from across the galaxy. Thousands of species. Millions of students. We teach combat. Strategy. Honor. But yesterday you taught us something we forgot. Something important. What, sir? That strength is not everything. That size does not guarantee victory. That the will to survive beats the will to win. Every time, the door opened again. More people entered. Teachers, senior instructors, even the academy principal. An ancient Zentari named Elder Thros. He was over 400 years old, seen thousands of species, witnessed the rise and fall of empires. He walked slowly to Jake's bed. His old eyes studied the human. Wise eyes. Eyes that understood things others missed. Young Morrison, I watched your fight. Every second. Every move. Do you know what I saw? No, sir. I saw evolution. I saw millions of years of survival packed into one young body. I saw why humans are special. Why they will be important in this galaxy. Jake did not understand. I am not special, sir. I just got lucky. Elder Thros smiled. A gentle smile. Full of wisdom. Luck. No. Luck is random. What you did was not random. It was calculated. Strategic. You studied your enemy. Learned their weaknesses. Used their strength against them. That is not luck. That is intelligence. He gestured to the walls. Beyond them, the entire academy. Every species here has something special. Krillians have strength. Drax have armor. Zentari have speed. Kyrith have telepathy. But humans have something more valuable. Humans have adaptability. Jake listened. His head felt clearer now. The pain medication was working. Elder Thros continued. His voice filled the room. Commanded attention. Do you know why humans survived on Earth? A planet full of predators. Dangerous weather. Limited resources. Because humans adapted. When the climate changed, humans changed with it. When food was scarce, humans learned to find new food. When predators hunted them, humans learned to hunt back. He pointed at Jake. Direct. Precise. Other species evolve over millions of years. Humans evolve in one lifetime. You learn. You adjust. You overcome. That is your strength. That is why you won. The room was silent. Everyone absorbed these words. Truth spoken from ancient wisdom. Commander Thane stood up, addressed everyone. I am recommending changes to our combat curriculum. We have focused too much on physical strength, not enough on strategy, not enough on adaptability. Morrison showed us a better way. Elder Frost nodded. Agreed. From today forward, we study human combat techniques, human strategy, human psychology, not because humans are better warriors, but because humans teach us how to think differently. Jake felt overwhelmed. This was too much. He just wanted to defend himself, wanted to prove he belonged. Now, they were changing the entire academy because of him. Sir, I do not deserve this. I am just one student. Elder Frost shook his head. You are more than that. You are a bridge between humans and the rest of the galaxy. You showed everyone that humans belong here, that you earned your place. The door burst open. Vractor walked in. His arm was in a sling. His face was bruised, but his eyes were clear, determined. He walked straight to Jake's bed. Everyone tensed, ready to intervene if needed. But Vractor did not attack, did not threaten. He knelt down, a full warrior's kneel, the highest honor Krillian can give. Human Morrison, I was wrong. I bullied you, insulted you, destroyed your family photo. I did this because I was afraid. Jake was shocked. Afraid. You were afraid of me. Vractor nodded. Yes, afraid that humans would change everything. Afraid that our old ways were not enough anymore. Afraid that strength was not the only path to victory. He looked up. His yellow eyes met Jake's human eyes. You taught me that fear makes us weak, that accepting change makes us strong. You fought with honor, with courage, with wisdom. You are more warrior than I ever was. Behind Vractor his 9 friends entered, all bandaged, all bruised, all humbled. They bowed together, a show of respect, of apology, of new understanding. We ask forgiveness, Human Morrison. We were wrong. You belong here, more than we do. Jake felt tears in his eyes. He did not expect this, did not want this. He just wanted respect, wanted acceptance, wanted to prove his father right. His father's words echoed in his memory. When you stand for what is right, son, when you refuse to back down, when you show them your true spirit, that is when you earn real respect. Not fear, not pity, respect. Jake looked at Vractor, at his former bullies, at the teachers, at Elder Thross. I forgive you, all of you, because that is what humans do. We forgive. We move forward. We build bridges instead of walls. He slowly sat up, ignored the pain, extended his hand to Vractor, a human gesture, a peace offering. Friends. Vractor stared at the hand. In his culture, physical contact meant combat or bonding. This was bonding. He reached out. His massive 4-fingered hand gripped Jake's small 5-fingered hand. Different species, different worlds, same respect. Friends. The room erupted in approval. Teachers smiled. Students nodded. Elder Thross looked pleased. This was what the academy was meant to teach. Not just combat. Unity, understanding, cooperation between species. Over the next week, news spread across the galaxy. Video footage of the fight was shared everywhere. Millions watched. Billions discussed. 1 human, 10 aliens. Victory against impossible odds. Jake became famous, not just at the academy, across dozens of worlds. Humans everywhere felt pride. Aliens everywhere felt curiosity. What else could humans do? What other surprises did this species hold? Applications to the academy increased. More humans applied. Other species wanted to train with humans, learn from humans, understand this adaptable species. Jake returned to class a week later, fully healed. His broken family photo was waiting on his desk, but it was not broken anymore. Someone had fixed it, restored it, made it better than before. A note was attached. From Vractor. Some things can be broken, but with care, with effort, with friendship, they can be fixed, stronger than before. Like us. Jake smiled, put the photo in his pocket, sat down. The classroom filled up. Students entered. They did not avoid him anymore. They sat near him, talked to him, asked questions, wanted to learn. Vrakter entered last, sat in the empty chair next to Jake, not in front, next to, as equals, as friends. Commander Thane started class. Today we study human combat psychology, how they use the environment, how they adapt under pressure, how they turn weakness into strength. Morrison will assist me. Jake stood up, walked to the front, faced the class. 30 alien faces looked at him. No mockery, no laughter, just attention, respect, eagerness to learn. He thought about his journey, arriving scared, being bullied, standing up, fighting back, winning, earning respect, making friends. His father was right. Life is not about being the biggest, the strongest, the fastest. Life is about refusing to quit, about adapting, about showing your true character when everything is against you. Jake began teaching, shared what his father taught him, shared human wisdom, shared the lessons of Earth. The classroom listened, learned, understood. Outside the window, stars shined. Endless, beautiful, full of possibilities. Somewhere out there was Earth, his home, his family. They would be proud. Their son proved that humans belong in the galaxy, that humans have something valuable to offer, not just strength, something better. Heart, courage, the will to never surrender. The Academy continued its work, training warriors, building leaders, creating unity. But now it had a new lesson, a human lesson, that every species has value, that working together makes everyone stronger, that respecting differences creates power. Jake Morrison became a legend, but more important, he became a teacher, a friend, a bridge between worlds. 10 aliens attacked him. 10 aliens learned from him. And through them thousands more would learn. Millions more would understand. Humans were no longer the weak newcomers. They were partners, equals, warriors in their own unique way. The fight was over. The lesson was learned. The future was beginning. And it all started because one human refused to quit, refused to back down, refused to accept that he did not belong. Jake looked at his students, smiled, began the next lesson. Because the galaxy was big, full of challenges, full of obstacles. But humans taught everyone something important. No matter how big the challenge, no matter how impossible it seems, never give up, never surrender. Always fight, always adapt, always survive. That was the human way. And now, it was becoming the galactic way. The story ended, but the legend lived forever, told across worlds, shared between species, remembered by all. The day one human stood against 10 aliens, and won, not just the fight, but something bigger. Respect, understanding, peace. That was the real victory. That was the real lesson. That was what changed everything. And it all started with one brave human who refused to be afraid, who refused to quit, who showed the galaxy what humans truly are, warriors of the spirit, champions of the will, survivors of the impossible. That was humanity. That was Jake Morrison. That was the lesson that changed the galaxy forever. 3 months passed since the legendary fight, but peace never lasts forever. Something dangerous was coming to the Academy. Jake Morrison sat in the Academy cafeteria. It was lunchtime. The massive hall was filled with hundreds of students, different species eating together, talking, laughing, learning from each other. Things had changed since the fight. Jake was no longer the outsider. Students greeted him in the hallways, asked him questions, wanted to train with him. He had friends now, real friends. Vrakter sat across from him. The massive Krillian was eating something that looked like blue meat. He smiled at Jake, a real smile, not the cruel smile from before. So Morrison, combat training today. You ready to lose? Jake laughed, ate his human food. Earth supplies arrived monthly now. More humans were joining the Academy. 12 new human students this semester alone. Lose. To you. Again. I beat you 3 times this week already. That was practice. Today is different. Today I show you new Krillian techniques. Their friendship was strong now, built on respect, on trust, on shared battles and training. Vractor was Jake's closest friend at the academy. 2 more students joined their table. Sarah, a female Zentari, fast, smart, deadly with energy weapons. And Korm, a young Drax, not as big as Kor, but just as tough. They formed a squad. The academy organized students into combat teams, 4 members each. Jake's team was called Alpha Squad, best in their class, maybe best in the academy. Sarah looked worried. Her silver eyes were usually bright. Today they were dark. Concerned. Did you hear the news? A ship arrived this morning. From the Outer Rim. They say it carries someone important. Someone dangerous. Jake put down his food. What kind of dangerous? Korm leaned in. His voice was low. Quiet. A champion. From the Vax Empire. They heard about your fight, Morrison. They think it was luck. They want to prove humans are still weak. Vractor's 4 fists clenched. The Vax. I heard stories about them. They are conquerors. Warriors who never lose. They destroyed 3 civilizations. Took their planets. Enslaved their people. Jake felt something cold in his stomach. Not fear. Something else. Awareness. The kind soldiers feel before battle. Why are they here? What do they want? Sarah pulled up her datapad. Showed them a message. It was broadcasted to the entire academy. Official. Public. A challenge. Jake read it. His face went pale. The message was clear. Direct. Threatening. To Jake Morrison the human. I am Krogar of the VXX Empire. I heard you defeated 10 weak cadets. Impressive for a soft skin. But you have not faced real power. I challenge you to single combat. Prove your species is worthy. Or admit humans are frauds. You have 3 days to accept. If you refuse, the galaxy will know humans are cowards. The cafeteria went silent. Everyone received the message. Everyone read it. All eyes turned to Jake. He felt the pressure, the weight of expectations. Not just for himself. For all humans. For his entire species. Vractor spoke first. You do not have to accept Morrison. This Krogar, he is a professional. He fights for sport. For glory. He has killed opponents before. This is not like fighting students. This is real danger. Sarah agreed. The Vax are different from us. They are bioengineered. Created for war. Stronger than Krillians. Faster than Zentari. Tougher than Drax. No normal species can beat them. Korm added more. I researched him. Krogar is undefeated. 43 fights. 43 victories. 20 opponents died. Others were crippled. He shows no mercy. No honor. Just domination. Jake looked at his friends. They were scared for him. Worried. They cared about him. That meant something. But he also thought about Earth. About his father. About what this meant. If he refused. People would say humans were cowards. All the respect he earned would vanish. Humans would be seen as frauds. Lucky but weak. If he accepted, he might die. Krogar was not like Vractor or Kor. He was a killing machine. Designed to destroy. Jake closed his eyes. Remembered his father's last words before he left Earth. Son, life will test you. Again and again. Each test gets harder. But you do not run from tests. You face them. Because running solves nothing. Fighting gives you a chance. Even a small chance is better than no chance. Jake opened his eyes. Made his decision. I accept. The cafeteria erupted. Some students cheered. Others gasped. Many thought he was crazy. Suicidal. Stupid. Vractor grabbed Jake's shoulder. His 4 hands strong but gentle. Are you sure, Morrison? There's no shame in refusing. Nobody expects you to fight a Vax champion. Jake looked at his friend. Smiled. A sad smile. A brave smile. Yes, they do. Everyone expects it. Humans expect it. If I refuse, everything I prove means nothing. Every human who comes after me will face doubt. I have to do this. Not for me. For all of us. Sarah stood up. Then I will help you train. We all will. 3 days is not much time. But we will make every second count. Corm nodded. Agreed. We are Alpha Squad. We fight together. Even if only one of us steps into the ring. We all fight. Ractor smiled, his warrior spirit burning bright. Then let us prepare for war. Because that is what this is. War. The four friends left the cafeteria, headed to the training rooms. They had 3 days, 72 hours, to prepare Jake for the fight of his life. Word spread fast, across the academy, across the station, across the galaxy. The human accepted. Jake Morrison would fight Krogar the Undefeated. Bets were placed. Most favored Krogar, 10-1 odds. Some people bet everything they had. The Vax never lose. But few bet on Jake, not because they thought he would win, but because they believed in something else. The human spirit. The thing that refuses to accept impossible. Commander Thane heard the news, went immediately to Elder Thros, found the ancient Zentari in his meditation chamber. Elder, the human accepted Krogar's challenge. We must stop this. The boy will die. Elder Thros opened his eyes. They were calm, peaceful. He already knew. We cannot stop it. The challenge was public, official. Both sides accepted. Academy rules demand we allow it. But Krogar is a killer. He will destroy Morrison. Everything the boy achieved will end in blood. Perhaps, or perhaps we will witness something greater. Something the galaxy needs to see. Thane was frustrated, angry. What could be greater than saving a student's life? Elder Thros stood up, walked to the window, looked at the stars, showing the galaxy that courage matters, that standing up matters, that one human refusing to back down can inspire billions. Win or lose. Jake Morrison already changed things. Now, he will show us what humans truly are. Warriors not of body, but of spirit. Thane left, unconvinced, worried. He liked Jake, respected him, did not want to see him die. Meanwhile, Jake trained, harder than ever before. His friends pushed him, tested him, prepared him. But deep inside, Jake knew the truth. Krogar was different, more dangerous than anything he faced before. This was not a school fight. This was a death match. 3 days passed fast. Too fast. The morning of the fight arrived. Jake stood in his room, looking at his family photo. Now repaired, now perfect. He touched their faces, wondered if he would ever see them again. A knock on the door. Ractor entered. His face was serious. Battle ready. It is time, Morrison. The arena is ready. Thousands are watching. Millions across the galaxy tuning in. Are you ready? Jake took a deep breath, put the photo in his pocket, close to his heart, turned to face his friend. No, I am not ready. I am scared, terrified, but I am going anyway, because that is what humans do. We face our fears. We walk into the darkness, and we fight. Ractor placed one hand on Jake's shoulder. Then walk with honor, my friend. Win or lose. You already proved everything. Now just survive. They walked together to the arena. Sarah and Corm joined them. Alpha Squad. Together until the end. The arena was massive. 10 times bigger than the combat room. 20,000 seats. All filled. Aliens from every species. All watching. All waiting. In the center stood Krogar. 9 feet tall. Pure black skin. Muscles like steel cables. Eyes that glowed red. No emotion. No mercy. Just a machine built for killing. He saw Jake. Smiled. Not a friendly smile. A predator's smile. The smile of something that knows it already won. Jake walked to the center. His body shook. Not from fear. From adrenaline. From awareness. This was life or death. Real. Final. The referee stepped forward. An ancient robot. Neutral. Emotionless. Rules are simple. Fight until one surrenders or cannot continue. No weapons. No outside interference. Medical teams standing by. Begin on my signal. Jake and Krogar face each other. Human versus Vax. Natural versus engineered. Spirit versus power. The entire galaxy watched. Waited. Wondered. Could the human do the impossible again? Or was his legend about to end in blood? The referee raised his hand. The crowd went silent. 20,000 people, millions across space, all holding their breath. 3, 2, 1, begin. Krogar moved first, faster than anything Jake ever saw. A blur of black death, coming straight for him. Jake barely dodged, felt the wind from the punch. It would have killed him. One hit, dead. This was different. This was real. This was survival. The fight for humanity's future had begun, and only one would walk away. What would happen next? Could Jake survive even 1 minute against this monster? The answer was coming, and the galaxy would never forget it. The Battle of Legends had started, and nothing would ever be the same.